Whichever of our J2 Judgement J movies is your favorite, we can all agree. Why would anyone willingly fight these guys? Like they volunteer to fight them. They know who. Anyway, Corey, drop that beat. Welcome to More Gooder Than.
What's up, home tree?
What?
Marty is stupid. Boom.
Marty, you moron. Have a good time. I actually very agree.
1,000 years. Anyways.
We're getting off on tangents. This is feels credible.
Consider that a divorce.
Welcome back to More Gooder Than, where we rate and dissect pop culture one episode at a time. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Brayton. I'm joined by my co-host, Corey Sasso.
What it is, players.
Yeah, and Donnie the Dinkles Car.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. For those of you joining us for the first time here at MGT, Corey, Donnie, and I each take sides on a predetermined movie trio and try and sway the world to agree with our opinions on which one is most goodest. And today we have more double taps to the chest, run-in, endless amounts of cannon fodder lackeys, and just, gosh dang, solid action that you can shake the fists of fury at. Many moons ago, we watched John Wick, Jack Reacher, and the Bourne Identity. And we called that episode Judge, Jury, and Executioner. It was incredible and one of our most popular episodes. And frankly, honestly, I know you guys agree with me, one of our favorite eps to prep for. Oh my gosh. It literally had everything that we like in action movies this side of early 90s Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's about dang time that we did the sequels to those, right? And so we watched John Wick 2, The Bourne Supremacy, and Jack Reacher, Never Go Back.
Sorry, I have to make a correction. It is John Wick Chapter 2.
Right. I just say chew. You know what?
True. You just say true.
True. Yes.
John Wick Chapter 2.
Yes. Sean Connery has come out.
I think it's Jack Reacher, Never Stop Going Back.
No.
Never stopping. He's messing with us. So who's backing which movies? Find out in this corner. So last time we did John Wick, I got the Wicklet from our good friend Kenny Wong. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to let Corey.
I want a chance to get the Wicklet.
Yeah. So Corey gets to have John Wick 2. Sweet. So maybe Home Tree send him something John Wick related.
This time. They'll send him a Jack Reacher too.
Oh, somebody please send me a Jack Reacher Funko Pop just to screw with Corey. No one send Corey anything. Send me Jack Reacher.
I'm keeping my man Jason Bourne.
The Bourne, David Webb.
Yeah.
Picking your man David Webb. Yeah. Oh man, was it a pleasure to prep for these?
Oh, it was so good.
After last
episode, watch these movies.
I
had watched these movies not too long ago, anyways. But I was going to watch them again soon. So
I know, right?
I looked like a psychopath with this big shit-eating grin on my face while there was just like massive violence and blood and so headshots going on when I was watching John Wick.
Where does that phrase come from? Who eats shit and grins?
I'm loving this. You know what it is? It's a stupid grin. Because like anyone's eating it. That is stupid.
You want to tell me eat shit?
Yeah.
That is a Southern phrase, and that is something a Southerner would do.
Eat shit.
That's right, Southerners coming for you. We're coming for you like John Wick, the Baba Yaga, the boogeyman. So sit back, relax, get out your first aid kits and burner phones, and let us show you the goods.
It's good.
Hey, Johnny, got any quickies for us, buddy?
Sure do.
Yeah, you do.
The Bourne Supremacy, Carl Urban, wink, not Zach Hall, features in this amazing sequel to one of the greatest action movies ever made. I don't believe many things. There are two things
I'm so happy
that I'm sure of.
Okay.
One, there's only one girl on that bench, and she is delightfully crazy.
Yes.
Two, Zach Hall of Dungeons and Dragons is Carl Urban.
That's right. That's right. Yes.
Oh man,
that was like
he's coming back full circle,
and he was fantastic, and his Russian accent was on point.
Carl Urban.
I love Carl
badass.
Urban. I love Kirill. I love Carl.
Kirill.
Anything he's in, he's always
Yeah.
the best. Like
Actually, that's
straight. First time I remember seeing was Éomer in Lord of the Rings.
You're gonna go through the list because I wrote the list down because I was
please.
like, man, no, go ahead. I guess
I would
if
cut
you
off
can do
your
it off
head,
memory, it's even
dwarf,
better.
if it stood but higher from the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, he's also in the Judge Dredd, the Dredd movie.
He's the new
He's
Dredd,
he's so good.
Yeah.
He played him.
He's
Bones.
Leonard McCoy and-
You're out of your Vulcan mind. I love him. Doom.
You guys may not have
You guys
seen
remember
this, but-
Doom? He was cool in Doom. His name was Reaper. Oh, he's cool.
So my favorite, he was Vaco in Riddick. He was
Lord
such
Vaco.
a cool.
Oh,
he was
yeah.
so cool in that role.
He's so good.
He's just badass. And just watching this, I was like, dude, he is basically the Jason Bourne like wannabe.
Did you see Red? Remember
No.
that with Bruce Willis and John Malkovich and Helen Mirren?
No.
Watch it, man. It's a good movie. He's in it as like the new guard of the CIA, and he's one of the scenes is him like planning evidence of to like toppling a government like level planning of evidence while talking about his kid's like birthday party on the phone. Like it's just it's really good. I love him. He's
He's
so
an
cool.
underappreciated actor. For sure.
Very.
As
yeah.
I mentioned a full week ago, like this is probably my favorite of the original Bourne movies. I forgot that he was in it, so that was like a bonus treat. Started watching it, and I was like, "Is that Carl Urban? Sweet!"
I know. I actually. So I sometimes when I've seen movies, I don't always watch them for it. But like these, of course, like these are all enjoyable. I want to watch them.
Yeah.
And I had forgotten everything about Bourne Supremacy. It was a huge hole in my brain.
Oh, really?
That as I was
all
watching
run
it
together in my
I
mind.
got
And
them
that's-
mixed up
and
with
that's what it is.
Ultimatum.
Yeah. Me, Corey and me like texted like we both had
I had
started
to
watching.
confirm, like, wait, are we watching Supremacy or Ultimatum? 'Cause I forgot the order.
I
Yeah.
know. I mean, same. And so because they're all just one movie.
Yeah.
Except for that you really could end Bourne Identity and not continue.
So here's
Yeah.
the funny thing. Every single one of these Bourne movies was actually intended to just be a standalone. Like they never thought they were going to make a sequel. And it's funny because now it's turned into like this huge franchise.
There's 5 of them.
Yeah, but they never intended. Every time they made one, they were like, "This is it. We're not going to do another
So
one."
that's why it could end with each one and be
Absolutely.
fine.
And I think it's cool. Like it's really,
I do
it's
think
worked
it's
out for
I
them.
think it's good.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, the American government spends so much money on Matt Damon. Like $20 million, all this manpower just going into taking this guy in. Yeah. One of the things that all 3 of these movies do is that can they not train someone to be as good as them? Like how can they?
Well, they can only train so much,
Yeah,
but
there were
the
other
individual
agents.
themselves.
Yeah, the other agents were good because like he took out another one of the Treadstone agents.
always.
It's just, he is just Jason motherfucking Bourne.
But it's
because-
always hard. Like they give him a fight.
absolutely, yeah. They're
Yeah.
good. They're just not quite Jason Bourne good.
Yeah.
The person that like when we get to it, Jack Reacher never is even close usually with his guys. Like it's always like obvious he's winning
Yeah.
on all of them. Even the main bad guy, it's always kind of like, yeah, it's
Well,
like
these guys, they have the same training, and so it's really close, but there's something intrinsic to David Webb that just makes him a little better than everybody else.
Goa. So it's the first part where they're at is Goa, India.
Yeah.
And actually, we might have had this conversation. I want to go to Goa. Well, it's like the
Goa to Goa.
the cuisine. I love Indian food. And so, but the cuisine sounds like more like it's all very seafood oriented, obviously because it's on the beach.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it was so heartbreaking when Marie died because like he had like a great
what's her real name? It's Franca.
Franco Potente.
like he had a great life. Like
Oh,
him and
yeah.
her just like
man.
kind of like
His
living on
house
the
was
beach
awesome.
and in
Yeah.
India, like really living it up. And then like when they kill her in the beginning, I was like, oh no, like it's so sad, it's so heartbreaking.
So,
But he was
sad.
supposed to be driving, so Kirill was
Yeah, that's
on
why.
with that shot.
Oh yeah, it would have been straight through his heart. And
Yeah.
it's like they seemed like they'd gotten away, right? They cut through that field, got on the road, and like, okay, we got away. He didn't follow us, and he's running across that field just to line up
Yeah.
that sniper shot. That was.
guys, men who will do these things.
Did you guys feel like sometimes in movies I just feel like they give up too early? Like I would have like somehow still took her back to the surface and tried to like revive her or
She was
something.
dead.
She was-
I know she
yeah.
had a hole through the heart and she was.
He
out
gave
of
her
oxygen.
like underwater CPR.
I know, like go up and do that. Like why would you do it
But
underwater?
he also
Then he would have
knew
exposed
he would have
himself.
exposed himself.
Yeah, and how much oxygen are you really giving somebody? It's like what 1% of your exhale is like still oxygen. It's mostly just carbon dioxide.
He's probably been trained not to metabolize that breath until his
He
body
can breathe
needs
in,
it.
but have his lungs still closed.
I-
His
Yeah.
lungs trained.
I did really think it was funny to watch him run. I don't know why watching him run. It looked like he was like in cargo shorts, Vans, and like just a t-shirt.
It was like that late 90s
and I'm just
kind of
looking at
a
it like
style.
that's not running gear. He's in cargo shorts and Vans.
When he's like running on the beach.
Yeah.
Like
It's-
exercising.
It's just like if you saw someone going out like jeans and a jeans and a polo shirt just out jogging.
But athletic gear has become like very fashionable and like a big thing,
I
like
know.
more in the the latter years.
Yeah.
Like back then, that was what you did to go work out. You just wore like your cargo shorts.
No, you still
You'd
wore.
wear your jeans when you went out to do taekwondo. And
Oh my gosh, so good. We watched. We since these movies are so enjoyable, like it was very. But even though we only had a week to prep, it was super easy.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was so easy. Just sitting
I was
down.
probably going to watch these 3 movies this week
That's what
anyway.
I said. Yeah.
Because John Wick Chapter 3 is coming out this year, and so I hadn't seen John Wick 2 yet, even though I don't know why.
Oh, you really
Yeah.
had?
I had.
I hadn't either.
because I knew
I just hadn't gotten around to it.
that
I
was
wanted
it.
to.
Same thing. I just hadn't gotten around to it.
Oh, I like put it on my list like right away because I'd already when we did the first John Wick movie and Reacher and Bourne, I'd already seen them, but knew that we would enjoy them.
Yes.
And so then I watched John Wick again for our actual episode, but it was like within like 6 months of it having seen
Oh,
it.
I know.
And so then I went and I watched John Wick 2 when it came out after we did our episode 2 because it was such a great movie. And so this was again, this is my second time seeing John Wick 2.
I knew we were going to do this episode, so I was just being super efficient with my time by
Actually,
not watching it.
on Donnie jokes, but that's actually what I was doing. Like, I knew we were going to get
we
to
do
it.
dad jokes, he does Donnie jokes.
Oh man, but this movie's so good. Though,
Brian Cox is amazing.
love that guy.
Joan Allen as Landy is awesome. She's one of my favorite characters in this series. Probably
Yeah.
the second favorite character after Bourne.
Yeah, she's pretty awesome. She looks tired though.
She's a
She gets some-
badass.
she gets she gets some rest.
She does look tired.
Get some rest. She, I mean, the whole idea of being like planning an op, it's just like, and knowing that like, oh yeah, people are probably gonna die. I'm planning deaths right now.
Yeah.
Is just like that's stress that I don't want to have.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like I couldn't like I choose who lives or dies.
Julia Stiles is back in this one. Where'd she go? She's not really in anything other than Bourne movies that I can see anymore.
I never was a huge fan. She was in 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah,
I don't think she was a particularly good actor.
really.
I really like her in this series.
No, and that's the thing is her character is good. I feel bad for her because like he's gonna always be thinking of Marie, even though apparently, like spoiler alert, like that's his former love.
Oh, him and Julia Stiles had a thing before?
Yeah.
It's implied at the end of Ultimatum.
Okay.
That
Yeah,
they-
I'm gonna have to watch that one again.
And so like when he forgot things, he forgot her too.
Oh,
Here's
so
the
she's
thing-
really heartbroken.
Here's the thing about it is when we talk about Bourne, for some
That's
reason.
probably why they're relentlessly after him because like a woman scorned, man.
Oh, yeah, she's coming for him.
Yeah.
You are a jerk.
She's behind the scenes just like manipulating all these high level CIA directors to get Bourne
Yeah.
because he broke her heart.
You're dead to me. I'm Julia Stiles. I was thinking the whole time I'm watching the Bourne again is I was thinking of A Long Kiss Goodnight with Charlie, and that
Okay.
as his memories come back, he was a bad person.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
he realizes that. Yeah.
He was a very bad person. He volunteered for Treadstone.
Yeah.
This wasn't like he was brainwashed into it, like some of the things like so it's like he's still a really bad guy.
Well, he knows that and he's remembering how bad he was, but he's now a good person inside. And so he
Like,
regrets
is he?
it. And he goes back and he apologizes to that girl. Like,
I know,
that's
yeah.
In
that
the
was a
most
heartbreaking
awkward
scene.
conversation you
Right?
could have with someone,
Hey, I killed your parents. Sorry.
and made it look like your mom shot your
Yeah.
dad and then
And-
herself.
But at least he had the decency, like, because he's exposing himself. Like, he could putting himself at risk by doing that. But at least he had the decency to go tell her, like, hey, your mom wasn't.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
that-
you can
and
live the
that's-
rest of your life knowing the truth
Yeah.
at least, even though it
Yeah.
still sucks.
that was decent of him.
But like mine is that when
That girl was gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
That Russian girl?
kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Does he go, like, I don't remember the ultimatum. Does he go back and date her too?
No.
No, never. In Jason Bourne, it's Alicia Vikander.
I haven't seen the new one. The newest one.
Have
I
you
haven't
guys
seen
Pretty
it
old
either.
now, right? Does he still move like he used to?
He's
I guess
still
if
good.
Keanu Reeves can move like that and Tom
yeah.
Cruise can move like that, I guess, huh?
I think he's like planning He's like the Pamela Landy.
Oh, is he?
I don't know.
I don't know. He's still out there punching. He's
Is he?
punching He's still punch
Beat
kicking.
people with a rolled up magazine.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was a cool. Like,
My favorite is still Bourne
found
Identity.
weapon kind of a
Yeah.
thing.
So
yeah.
so Bourne Identity is still my favorite because when we talked about the first one, Home Trees. Go listen to the first Triple J, like episode 16-ish. And we gushed over these movies, full sploosh, just everywhere. But just how much the Bourne movie changed everything.
Yeah.
It really did. So Identity is still my favorite, but they're still all good.
They're all
You know what I mean?
amazing, and I know I said it a bunch in that episode. Like, this is smart action movie.
Yes.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the Supremacy is everything that Bourne Identity had, a little more. The only thing it doesn't have that cultural significance of being the first one like that.
Yeah. But just real quick to the last thing on the Lunkus Goodnight. His personality should be coming back though too, because I actually found that in The Long Kiss Goodnight, she was remembering her more aggressive, evil. She had to reconcile.
Well, in
Bourne-
both cases, yeah, they become an amalgamation of who
But
they.
that's not what's happening in Bourne though. He's just Bourne now. He's not David Webb anymore at all.
Well, he is. He's just super remorseful about
He's
it, and
choosing,
is
yeah.
choosing
Yeah, I
to
guess.
change.
I mean, I think every person has like you have multiple facets to your personality. There are times where like
you're not always the same person to everybody.
You're not, and so he's just choosing to be the better person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. Anyway,
it's
it
really
just
an allegory for our own lives to look inward.
and how we can kill people with pencils.
So the magazines,
Yeah.
when the guy who first came up with it, because basically what they did is they dressed the set, and then the
Fight choreographer.
the fight choreographer kind of looked at the set and said, okay, what would Jason Bourne grab first? And so the Rolled magazine was like an idea, and everyone was like, what? That's ridiculous. And so Matt Damon and that other actor who was the agent started kind of like rolling him up
Jada?
and hitting each other with him. And they realized like, oh, this legit could be a weapon because like we're bruising. Like this hurts. So that's kind of funny that they were actually like trying it out to see if it would be legitimate.
Yeah.
I definitely see it like if you roll up and you jab somebody in the face with it, yeah,
absolutely.
you're going to jack them up.
I mean, it's basically, and it was like a Time magazine. You could fuck
thick,
somebody
yeah.
up with a Time magazine. But I mean, it's basically like a baton.
That's some quality pages right there with the
Yeah.
Time magazine.
Thick.
No, he
Oh,
fucks up Celeborn with that Time magazine.
Oh, was him, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. That's right. Jarda.
Yeah.
Jarda was his name. The names all anyway. It's all just Jason Bourne and everybody else.
Yeah. Who is a badass even with his hands zip tied.
Oh man.
Yeah.
The Treadstone guys are just
Yeah.
man. That's a career move right there,
Yeah.
right?
So I don't know when like the shaky camera style kind of to get really popular. But I feel like this was one of the earlier examples of it. Where
2000
did you notice? Did you guys pick up on that? Like where everything feels like you were in the room.
Yeah.
It was the handheld camera
I
style.
don't love it. I liked it. I liked it 12 years ago.
I enjoy it until I notice that it's happening, and then I can't focus on anything else.
They do break it up in this one because I was noticing there's a lot of jarring camera work, but then they would intersperse it with actual smooth.
so you kind of forget about
It's
it.
like, Okay,
There's just a couple of
I can take a second to reorient my head
Right.
and then get back to it.
there was a couple of scenes where Landy and Abbott were basically talking to each other. It was like these quick cuts back and forth.
Yeah.
And it was just like shaking and back
Yeah.
and forth and like getting close to their face. And I was like, oh, they're doing that thing with the cameras in this.
But the
Well, it feels
obligatory
like a documentary.
Yeah, the obligatory Jason Bourne like car magic scene
Yeah, I know. Some of the
was
best car
It's
chases.
weird, though,
awesome,
Yeah.
but just a bit much.
I don't get that feeling when I'm actually watching a found footage movie. Maybe it's more because it's more intentional. And then this, for some reason, I kind of noticed it and I was like, oh, I'm getting a little.
Your brain is in the
Yeah.
mode for it when you're watching a found footage, but in this
Exactly.
one you're jumping back and forth.
Yeah. But the car scenes were
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
Just the whole movie is start to finish. The
I
acting
wish I
is
could manipulate a
superb.
car like that.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I could. Like I think I know what they're doing, but they just like they dance with those cars.
No, I mean you have to practice.
Yeah.
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 I mean, I'm sure there's a place out here that they would let you just go in one of those tiny cars
Yeah.
that's like one of the things too. It has to make sure that the that's got a handbrake.
Yeah,
you got to make sure you have the handbrake. Do the handbrake turns.
But that's what it is. It's like you probably want to do it in a 5-speed so you have more control over everything. But it's like it's a lot of switching, like your hand switching from the stick to the handbrake and back to put it into the gear you want.
Do it all in a like a Prius.
Yeah. Have you guys ever tried to do that? Like when you guys were like learning to drive anything, do the whole handbrake thing?
No.
It's hard to do. I did try it one time in my Mustang, but the problem is that they have the spring-loaded lock, and so you have to keep that button pressed really, really well. And so I tried it, and I took a turn, and I went, and it locked in, and I had to.
Yeah. My first car was a Chevy Blazer. I would have rolled it.
My Jeep. Yeah, no, my Jeep.
No, I did all kinds of stupid stuff. My first vehicle, like I tore the truck that my parents gave me.
Well, you're like a driver guy.
Yeah.
Like I could see you trying to do that or actually doing that.
Cars are meaningless to me.
Yeah,
I
same.
do not care.
No, like
about cars.
I was one of the first people to drive, like among my friends and in my school. So I just remember like late night, like band practices. We'd be coming home like on a Monday night, and I'd drive my buddy home, and like I just try to take a turn real fast, and realize that your tires don't grip that well, and I keep sliding and hit a curb or something like that. I ran my truck into a ditch one time on a dirt road trying to drift around the corner, and I ran into a ditch.
It won't even cross my mind to try that.
I'm so point A to point B. I was very thankful that I had a car in high school.
We drove backwards through my school listening to like
feels like we're only going
Biggie, Biggie, can't you see? Sometimes remember that song? In the video they were driving backwards, so we tried doing that through my school backwards with my system bumping.
Do you know that Tame
Impala? Dorks.
Yeah. Do you know that Tame Impala song that feels like we're only going backwards? It's a really good song. I'll send it to you. But like anytime we go backwards, like I sing it, and now my girls will do it with me, and I'm just like, oh yeah, it's little mini me's creating the perfect children to get all of my jokes. No, of course was I thankful I had a car in high school? Absolutely. But like my first car was a 1979 Ford F-150 truck, and it was hideous, but I loved it so much.
Yeah.
And then after that, when the engine exploded because it was an old hoopty,
because it was a Ford,
because it was a hoopty, and I got a Jeep Cherokee. That was my car for years. The stripped down, most basic, not Grand Cherokee, Jeep Cherokee. Basically was how you would draw a car. Yeah, is how how a kid. It's perfectly square. It's a box on wheels, and I loved it though. It was great. I wrecked that when I got in a bad car accident right before mine and Lisa's first date. I had that car for years. So yeah, but anyway, I wrecked that hard.
Everything in this movie, which I appreciated, was basically all the stunts and everything were all done very practically.
Yes.
The director didn't want to use like CGI or anything. So of course that's why it's just fond in our hearts, because we love that stuff.
Well, you know what? It's real. It's visceral. Bourne does not walk away unscathed. It's one of my favorite parts of all three of these movies.
That crash at the end, yeah.
Like when you crash, you're jacked.
Well, if I remember right, that limp carries it. Well, Bourne Ultimatum takes place immediately after the end of this movie.
It's not
so
even
he's still
seconds.
Limping and injured, and Yeah,
Ultimatum, like he gets out of the car, it's him getting away. When him walking away from the car, it's a good movie. Let's move on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's good.
I think we've gushed enough about this one.
Zach, hey guys, fantastic work.
Zach, great job as Carol. You know, whenever someone does a Russian accent, it's always deeper. Like, do your Russian accent. The voice is deeper now.
They don't have certain octaves in Russia.
No, you speak down.
It's always
here.
just man octave.
There is no. Da. Bouge moi.
It's good.
Hey, you got any more than their quickies?
Jack Reacher, Never Go Back.
Never stopping. In
a departure from the thrilling badassery of the original, Jack's main antagonists in this one are convoluted plot lines and annoying foster kids.
This is like Jack Reacher, The Family Vacation.
I know.
I didn't like this one as much.
It wasn't quite as good as the first one, but it was cool to see like his love interest being a badass, seeing his like supposed daughter kind of being a
Kobe
badass.
Smulders is viable as a badass.
Yeah,
she's awesome.
Smulders.
Well, she's Maria Hill in the Avengers movies.
Hill.
Yeah.
She did all her own. We know Tom Cruise always does his own like stunts and stuff like that. She did hers too, so she trained for like 8 weeks or something to learn all of her.
Well, she's hardcore, man.
She was she was tough. Like
I mean,
I like the little like kind of budding competition between them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I mean, she had his old post. And so on some level, she was trying to live up to the best line in the whole movie. Was he good? They ran out of medals. Give him. So they're doing a Jack Reacher TV show, and
really?
they were going to do another movie, and then Lee Childs, the one who writes the movies, basically said like, yeah, no more Tom Cruise. Like he's kind of too much, and he's not big. He's not big enough.
Well, you could kind of see his age a lot in this movie. I was looking at him, I was like, dude, he's not like
Crow's
as handsome
feet
as-
and-
yeah,
yeah.
he's looking pretty old.
Don't you dare say he's not as handsome. He's becoming distinguished.
Yeah.
And he's aging beautifully. You shut your filthy mouth. There weren't as many in the first one that me and Donnie were talking about when we were at lunch the other day. You had left, but we're talking about that scene in the first one was
I actually work. I'm kidding.
When he gets out of the car and lets the car keep rolling. Remember that in the first one?
Yeah.
There was none of those moments where he's still fighting. I love how he fights. He beats everybody up. I love that opening scene when he's saying two things are going to happen.
Yeah, that actor. What's that actor's name? Shoot, I have it written here, I'm sure. The guy who's the sheriff.
I don't know.
He's like a bigger actor, but like he had that small part.
I didn't notice.
I didn't recognize him, or it didn't immediately jump out at me.
This is not great.
This is great radio right now.
Great radio.
I mean, let's see. Jack Reacher, never stopping. But I actually thought that the daughter figure, so the whole thing is that like he may or may not have a daughter.
Yeah.
And so that is how the hunter, that's the main antagonist basically, is like going to try and get to Reacher because Reacher is unkillable.
Yeah. Which, as far as bad guys go in these movies, he's honestly the most badass of all the bad guys.
He beats two men to death.
Yeah.
In the movie, like they found him beaten to death. They found another guy beaten to death.
Yeah.
The thought of
I love his gloves. He puts those like leather gloves on with the little holes and stuff because he's gonna beat somebody down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the right movie, right? That's from this one.
Yes.
They're starting to blur together, but yeah, he was really badass in this one.
Here's the thing. We watched some garbage movies the last time. So it could have been the worst action movie ever, the Samurai Cop. But I know, here's the thing. Was it as good as the first one? No.
Yeah, I don't think it was either.
But it was still
Really awesome.
Tom Cruise doing his thing.
Yeah.
Running.
Running.
He's running.
I think it was the weakest of these three, but it was still a fun
really
movie.
good.
I enjoyed it.
I liked the scene. I think the best fight scene to me was when the guys kind of start cornering him in the alley, and he leads them into like that.
Your first mistake.
Yeah, and he gets them into like that. It's like a cage basically with like a crane hook hanging down, and they just surround him on all four sides. And like they're even being cautious because they know what this guy's capable of, and he's just like super confident. Like, okay, three things are going to happen. I'm going to knock you out. I'm going to disarm these guys. That whole scene is really good, and everybody's on their phones now. So I'm talking about myself.
We're trying to figure out who that sheriff is.
He was on The Walking Dead.
Yes, he's in The Walking Dead.
Oh yeah, he's the governor, right?
No.
Character?
No, he wasn't the governor, but he was.
No, now I'm looking at it. Yeah.
What's his name? He's like an actor. He's also on Starship Troopers.
Jeffrey Douglas is the actor.
He's the sergeant.
Okay, now
Okay.
Jason Douglas. Sure.
The drill sergeant. And
Yeah.
and he like actually knocks himself down to a lower rank so he could go be a part of the actual war.
No, I thought that was
Zim.
Clancy.
Clancy Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in this.
No.
Is it
Clancy Brown is
Wasn't
not
he the
in this.
sheriff?
No.
Son of a. Wait,
You're
hold
thinking
on.
of Michael Ironside.
No, I'm not thinking of Michael Ironside. I
That
know
was
Michael
another guy.
No,
Ironside.
Clancy Brown was Zim in Starship
Yeah,
Troopers.
the drill sergeant, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't he the sheriff in this?
No.
No.
They do look kind of similar, though.
Okay, they look similar. I thought that was him.
What's wrong with you? we went on this wild goose chase to help you, and you repay
You're
us.
the wrong person.
You're not even the right age group.
Yes, he is. It's got to be him, guys.
What is this? The sheriff was black. You really don't see color, do you?
No, I don't. No.
I don't know. It's
Am
not
I
Clancy
mixing
Brown.
my movies up?
I mean,
I might be mixing my movies up.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, like,
I'm sure Clancy Brown has been a sheriff in some movie.
I love Clancy Brown.
We're talking about the sheriff that
Yes.
was trafficking humans.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was not. It was
In
Jason,
the very beginning,
Jason
opening
Douglas
scene.
from
He's
Steven-
a white
No.
guy. They're white guys.
Yes.
They're not black.
I know they're not black. I'm
Yeah, he was
okay.
just messing
Yeah,
with you on
okay,
that one,
okay.
but
But
it's
that
not
isn't
Clancy
Zim?
Brown. No.
God, he seems the same to me. He's like the same type
You know
of
what
guy.
we can do? Let's go watch it again.
We can do
We
that.
can do that again.
Now I feel like an idiot.
But like there was really cool action scenes in this movie. There was just like They went when they were on the lam. They took her to that school. They were shopping for clothes.
That school was so pointless. Why did they even go to the school?
Just to show that the hunter was constantly on their tail.
But it was
one
like
slip up and he's on.
But
there.
like they had this. Oh, we're going to shop for clothes. You're going to go to this school, and then in the end of the movie, she goes to that school anyway. Who's paying for that?
Yeah,
right.
That's like, is Jack Reacher paying for her to go to that school now?
With his non-job.
With his non-job.
Drifter. He's got no money.
That's kind of the whole thing. It's just like Jack Reacher, while is cool, he is the one drifter that is cool.
Yeah.
This hitcher that's going around.
Like the shirt that he's wearing in that diner in the opening scene is the shirt that he wore all through the whole last movie because he can't afford clothes. He's wearing the same clothes.
So he doesn't. Did he not qualify for his pension or something?
No, he gets his pension and he just like has it delivered via Wells Fargo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Wire transfers. He has it delivered. I don't know.
Yeah.
And he just wants. If you've read, I've read the books.
There were scenes in the movie where I was like, "What are they? Why are they doing this?
Yeah.
It doesn't fit."
Yeah. So you read the books. So did you? There's a Lee Child cameo.
Yeah,
he's the TSA agent,
right?
And it's kind of funny because it's a bit of a like a jab at all the fans who were actually upset that Tom Cruise was cast as Jack Reacher because Jack Reacher's supposed to be like 6'3".
Yeah, he's a big boy,
like huge barrel chested, like 230 pounds.
He says it.
Tom Cruise.
He says it everything. Well, I'm all of 6'3", 250 pounds. He says
in the novels.
Every single novel explains how big he is.
Okay, and so they pick Tom Cruise, who we all know is not a big man.
No, he's like what 4? He maybe crashed
under
4 feet,
average
right?
man height. Yeah. And so, they put that in there with Lee Child, basically saying like, oh, because he's the TSA agent, he looks at the passport and it's clearly not Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, go ahead. It's basically him just saying like, you know what, I'm signing off on Tom Cruise being Jack Reacher, even though he should be somebody else. You know what I mean?
That's good.
Yeah,
I didn't hate the girl in it. Actually, I actually thought she added to the story. She did some cool things.
Yeah.
She did help. She didn't do all the quintessential dumb kid things. She wasn't a screamer. No. She wasn't a crier.
That's what I'm saying. They were all basically versions of Jack Reacher. It was like Jack Reacher's family. Like his wife would be badass. His daughter would be badass. They're all just like derivatives of Jack Reacher.
She did screw up a couple of times, like using a cell phone or whatever.
But they were rookie mistakes.
Yeah.
Those as opposed to doing
when Jack Reacher says no cell phones, don't use a fucking cell phone.
No,
but they hadn't developed the trust yet. That was the whole point, is that like they had to go through this ordeal for her to trust him. All for nothing because he's not really her father. But I did think it was a good ending, kind of like when they were both trying to be stoic and say goodbye. And she kind of walks away and she comes back and then they embrace and hug. And it was kind of a sweet moment. I thought that was good.
It was good.
You could see where he was warming up to the idea of having a kid and was a little disappointed when he found out otherwise.
Yeah, he was.
But she was cool. She set things up. She's just like, oh, hey, that waitress that's been serving you coffee for half an hour, that's my mom. Yeah. So obviously you're not my father.
Yeah, there was cool moments like that. I just think overall, compared to the other two movies, this one probably wasn't the strongest. But
John Wick Chapter 2 and Bourne Supremacy are like prime examples.
Yeah, perfect action movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that the girl that played the young girl, her name was Danielle Yarash or something. I don't remember.
No, she's a great actress.
I think she's going to have a bright future. She had like screen presence. So
I mean, the whole adding a kid is always stupid whenever they do that. Yeah. She was very good in this movie. Yeah. But that role and some of the scene choices and like writing choices just didn't work for me.
But I think she did a good job because she was actually like 17 or 18, I think, when they filmed this.
That's hard to be against someone as iconic as Tom Cruise. Yeah. And
maybe that's what brought her up, is like maybe he gave her tips, maybe just being in his presence.
We talk about he's supposed to just be the best on set.
Yeah.
He's supposed to just be the best. Like, is very down to earth, smiles, talks to everybody, throws parties for people.
That makes you happy to be a fan of somebody like
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. It's just like you're having unlike that dick Chris O'Donnell.
I don't know. I don't normally look up like production stuff, but I did happen to notice that this, from like start of filming to release, was only 1 year.
Jeez,
extremely fast.
That is fast.
That is professionalism.
Yeah, but I was just like reading like when they got certain people on board, they got the Danielle Yarash girl on in September of 2015, and then they started filming in October of 2015, and this thing released June of 2016.
You know what? They probably didn't take any time to like edit and rewrite stupid scenes.
Maybe that's what it is.
Like why are they in a mall?
Yeah, you're right. There's some, they could have streamlined this a little bit more.
Yeah.
Made it a cleaner movie.
I did like when he brings in like what is like Paunch Burger or something like that. Brings in the burgers. So this is our fancy dinner date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was funny, like there was like the sexual tension between them, but there's also the competitiveness. And like they'd start to kind of flirt, but then it'd be like, oh, well, you need to let me help. And he's like, well, I'm gonna do it because I'm the man, you know.
But he didn't say that is the man. He's saying, I'm gonna do it because I'm better than you. Yeah. Not that because I'm the man. Yeah. Because I'm better than you. And like for some reason that makes it less bad. Like he legit just like, oh no, I'm better than you.
Doesn't matter that you're male or female.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like if you were better than me, but no one's better than Jack Reacher.
Yeah.
The first one is definitely
6'3" and 230 pounds and barrel chested.
The books are easy reads. They're not very long.
He's written a lot of them. I think they come out pretty fast, right?
Yeah, I think he's done. I haven't read every single one, but I've read like 8 of them.
Yeah.
And then especially when I was working with you guys before we started doing podcasts, audiobooks.
Yeah.
Just like I would listen to them. They're good. The narrator was really good. But I enjoyed it though.
A fun scene. So you talked about in the first movie that he hops out of the car, lets the car kind of
it's the best.
cruise, and then he stands in that crowd and remember the guy gives him his hat?
Yeah.
So they played off of that on this one when they get into the taxi. I guess it's the same actor who's the taxi driver. Or at least he looks very similar.
Hey, I like that hat.
And she's like, I like that hat. And you see her wearing his hat the next scene.
Oh, no, kind of fun. The taxi driver was Clancy Brown.
Yeah, they said you a fan because it's like I think it's a national hat.
But it was just a little like tipping of the hat, so to speak.
The
hat to the first movie.
The hat.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, you like it.
I just bought a new hat today.
Did you?
I always want a big straw hat from when I'm working outside, and I can never find a good one. Anyway, just today, like randomly found one that I liked. Tell me you like my hat.
I like your hat.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, you need to go to like a hardware store. Like
I know
they'll carry those.
You know what? You know where they always have good hats is that on the way to Lake Buena Vista, there's like a place where you buy your bait and get your ice. They always have good hats there.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's.
I liked the Rotten Tomatoes critical consensus. It says monotonously formulaic. Jack Reacher, Never Go Back is one action thriller sequel whose title also serves as a warning.
Oh,
snap.
Sick bird.
Shots fired.
Shots fired. But you know who dodged those shots? Jack Reacher. Doesn't get shot. Jack Reacher never gets shot. He gets punched.
He intimidates the bullets into falling early.
He's put his hand up and all the bullets drop.
Are you saying he'll be able to dodge bullets?
I'm saying when time comes, he won't have to.
Morpheus is in John Wick 2.
Which is a good segue to the next movie.
Segue.
It's good.
More Gooder Than is proud to be sponsored by Range Outdoors. Range provides high quality and stylish apparel for people who want to, as they put it, go be free. They are a group of fishermen, climbers, backpackers, hunters, mountain bikers, and outdoor enthusiasts that want to help conserve and protect the environment they love for our future generations. They give their time and donate a portion of proceeds to conservation efforts. Head to range-outdoors.myshopify.com to check out their entire catalog.
It's good.
You got a chapter 2 quickie?
John Wick Chapter 2. Super fun 2-hour trailer for John Wick 3 where shit gets absolutely real.
I can't wait for John Wick Chapter 3.
That's all this is setting up Chapter 3.
Well, that, and it basically just fleshed out this world that he lives in. Like, we got glimpses of the Continental and all this underground organization, but this was just like, okay, here's everything that's going on in this world. Here's all the different players.
There's a lot of assassins.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
There was that scene. Okay, so a lot of this movie, because, so they put Lawrence Fishburne back in this movie. This is the first movie Tom Cruise, Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne are back together again since the last Matrix movie.
Yeah.
But there's a lot in this movie that like is just basically homages to the Matrix. One thing in particular, like at the end when the guy is like, he says something like stop, and everybody around stops. That was a bit silly to me. Like they don't have that much control over all the public.
Those were all the other assassins.
I know it's ridiculous. They're all like, where are the real people that would just occupy that space in that town?
They're all dead.
Yeah. They're all stacked
dead.
like
All
cordwood
murdered
piled
for this
up.
show of
Yeah.
force. You have 1 hour. We have the rest of the world. You know, like
That's what it is. Oh man,
But
no,
other
it's
than
so freaking
other
good.
than that one criticism, everything else in this is absolutely perfect, including like the 15 to 20 minute cold open. Like it was so cool.
Oh man, when
The car scene.
me
Yeah.
and Dottie, we were talking, and I said that scene when he hits the lackey with the car as he's sweeping by and he hits that beam.
Yeah.
That 10-second scene
Yeah.
is better than most other movies. Like most of the best part of the movie, and it's almost always I could have watched just it on a loop. Is when he's prepping for the initial assassination of the sister.
The sommelier.
And he's
Yeah.
talking to the sommelier, and
He's
he said
like, I
the
have
tailor.
the German varietals. Oh god, that was so cool.
He said,
Yeah.
I want something bold.
For after dinner,
I want
yeah.
I want something bold for
dessert.
Dessert?
Oh, the knives come out.
The fire.
That was
freshly stoned.
But we've talked about this before. Like we love movies where like it's like putting together the team,
Yes.
putting together the plan. Like we love those elements of the movies.
What's what's the word? What's the
which is why we play.
how do you pronounce it?
Sommelier.
Yeah, he's like, is
I
he
say terribly, I'm sure.
is he in? I've never known him not to be.
Right, that's the whole thing. Is the manager in? The manager is always.
Well, on
in.
the point of like all the planning and putting things together, like
so
clearly we
good.
love it because we're sitting here like planning to play the Blades in the Dark, and all it is us just planning our heist. Like, what
Yeah.
we're gonna
So
do,
my
planning our
character is
characters.
going to be named John Wick, and he will be unkillable. He's death himself. You shot death in the back. Ian McShane is such a great actor.
Yeah.
He adds such
Yeah.
gravitas to anything that he's doing, which is Winston is a fairly silly role. He's just there, but like Ian McShane, you know, like, oh, he's seen some stuff.
I almost felt like there was a little too much revealed in this movie. Like the first movie, okay, the Continental, Winston, like, okay, there's hints of it. Too much in this one. It should have been more, but not like this
but I
much
agree, but
exposure into the
I'm-
inner workings.
I'm hopeful that they had to show us that much because the next movie is just going to be so
'cause they-
off the chain. Like
'cause,
you
okay,
need all this
yeah.
background. You know what I mean?
So yeah, because here you get more about the Continental. That's basically a network of help.
And the ladies who like are on the old Commodores who are
I
like,
loved
putting out the
them.
contract. That was so fucking cool.
Not an ugly person in this movie.
Yeah.
So my
Actually, I had read something about those machines they were on. I forget exactly what they were. They were Commodore. Oh, here it is. Commodore VIC-20s,
Mm-hmm.
VIC-20s. And apparently, like, there's no way they actually could type that fast because the resolution and everything was so low and the memory was so low on those things that like it wouldn't have actually processed information that quickly. So that was kind of funny. But,
but the sommelier scene when he's like, might I suggest
yeah.
the Benelli, an Italian classic.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh.
There was just everything about this was so cool.
So
Peter
good.
Stormare, like, had such a
Yeah.
small role.
Just a bunch of cowboys.
What a big name to put in for. Well, he's big to us. I don't know if he's big to the rest of the world.
He's a that
Yeah.
guy. He's
Yeah,
such a that guy.
definitely
But we have talked about.
But to
it's
have him
similar-
in there for just 5 minutes, just to have this scene where he's just like basically neutered and
They
just like
kill
afraid,
him.
like, don't kill me.
They kill him with a pencil.
Yeah.
He
Which
kills
we
the guy with a
We
pencil.
got to see it this time.
I was
finally.
so. I screamed. So I started watching it by myself.
It was actually one of the worst kills to watch. It was awful.
was
like when,
hard.
when the pencil came off, like the back of his skull,
Well, he puts
there was
it
all
in
this
his
like
ear,
viscera.
right? Doesn't he also
I
put
think
it in his ear?
eye. I think he put it in his ear. Put it in like every possible hole.
He killed
could.
one guy by sticking it in his ear, and the other one he stuck it against the wall and
slammed
shoved the
his
guy's
skull. Yeah,
head
that's
into
right.
the wall.
Yeah, but when he pulled the skull back off, there's just like this thick, just
Like
red
viscera
goo,
dripping off of it.
brain matter and stuff. It was
brains,
awful.
brains.
Yeah.
Oh man, every fight. But my thing is one, I was really glad to see Common's character Cassian.
Colin's badass, dude.
So
He's-
mine is like, oh, you're fighting a lot. You had to train hard for this. We know what dedication Keanu Reeves has to his roles.
Yeah.
We're not talking about his acting skills. We're talking about his dedication to the role.
Yeah.
And that's why we love him so much. Because like I've seen the training videos of him from The Matrix.
He
for
became
John
an
Wick 1,
expert
John Wick 2.
marksman.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
So Common is putting that amount of work in too.
Yeah.
Because those fight scenes between those two, sometimes when you're watching a fight scene, it can get boring. Punch, 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 punch. I was not bored.
Well, no, because they said it in a lot of different ways. Like when they were walking through the mall and one guy's hired and it's like,
Oh my
just
gosh,
kinda
that was so good.
discreetly like shooting each other and just keep getting
Only
knocked-
time he missed.
blocked by a pillar.
That's the only time that John Wick missed.
That with Cassian.
Cassian
Yeah.
was the only one that made him miss.
But I
Clever.
loved how, yeah.
That's what I love about
That's
the Bourne
clever.
suit, like just smart, sharp, like
No one's
witty
paying
action.
attention.
the like high noon sort of like showdown where like, you working tonight, John?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Business good?
Yeah, business or good night. And he's like, unfortunately, or whatever he said.
It's fortunately,
And
yes.
and then it's just like this pause, and you just see them like facing each other. One was facing the camera, one has his back.
Oh,
And it was
so
just like
good.
this doo-doo kind of moment.
Yeah.
And then they just open up fire because they both know what they have to do.
Fight.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a professional courtesy.
They definitely respected each other, and I liked that.
You killed my ward.
It's funny, he has a professional courtesy for him, but when it comes to the Ruby Rose character, like he pulls the knife, he stabs her in the same spot, but he pulls the knife out for her. He didn't give her the professional courtesy.
No, because she was a lackey. She broke the deal.
Yeah, and that was the thing is that
because
they had to
Antonio
clean up loose
Scarpacci.
ends.
I know that's not his name, but
I like her. I like Ruby Rose. She's
Ruby
got
Rose
that like
super
unique
cool.
kind of like
Oh, yeah.
androgynous. Like she's very hot for a woman, but she's almost kind of manly. Like she's badass.
She's just hot.
Not that women can't be badass. I'm sorry that came out wrong. But she's really cool for.
No, I like her as an actress.
Yeah,
for sure.
the role
She
she
always
picked.
just like looks just the same thing. Honestly, she fills the Carrie-Anne Moss role. Like I honestly, when I remember seeing
Like in
previews for it, no, and I feel like I actually thought that Carrie-Anne Moss was in this movie because I remember seeing previews and I didn't know who Ruby Rose was yet.
Yeah.
And so in my head, it was like, oh, cool, Matrix revival or reunion. I mean, and anyway,
The director of this movie is the stunt man for The Matrix.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. Like, there's just everything is tied to The Matrix. A lot of the lines that it's all these damn J names.
Yeah.
John and the Barrow, what's his name? Barrow something.
what are we talking about?
Lawrence Fishburne's character.
Yeah.
The Bowery Master or something.
Yeah.
I forget what his title is.
I don't know. He's Lawrence
They
Fishburne.
keep saying stuff to each other like about like you got to make a choice. It's all these lines from The Matrix.
Very
basically.
like vague platitude matrixy stuff.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
I love Lawrence Fishburne though. He's so over the top in this movie.
Yeah, he is.
He's loud and like laughs big and man, it's so good. It's
Yeah.
just I watched it the first half by myself. At least had seen this movie already, and she watched it on a plane, and she's like, "Have you?" And I had sat down to watch it multiple times. It just kept getting pushed out of the way.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't want to, but man. And so she came in when the pencil went to the guy's head, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I remember that."
Yeah.
No, she came in when they were fighting on the train. With the train scene where they just slowly are moving closer to each other.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good.
Those scenes where they have to deal with like the crowds of people,
Yes.
but like they're low key, like I'm gonna kill you, Just getting closer,
getting closer and
yeah.
closer.
And then eventually they don't care anymore. They just like fight, and people have to run off the train. But-
This is New Yorkers, man. New Yorkers
Yeah.
don't care. New Yorkers do not.
They gave
care.
them space, but they didn't leave. They had to get
Yeah.
where they were going.
There was the woman in the background. Like the second the doors open, she just sprints out.
Yeah,
It's
would
like
you?
I would-
These dudes are going at it like
With
it's one thing to
knives.
like watch a fight, but like you could tell like these guys are trained killers. I
Yeah.
don't want any part of this. I don't want to witness it. I don't want.
They probably the winner's not going to want to leave a witness.
Exactly. That's why I'm getting out of here.
Oh, it's so good.
The one thing that like you guys probably noticed, like when he was checking out all the guns and stuff,
Oh,
the
yeah.
sommelier, he kept doing this sort of strange affectation where he would take the gun, he looked on the sights, and then he turned
And then
at a
real
45,
close to his face too.
at a 45, and I'm like, okay, is that like a real thing? Because I've never seen that in any other movie. Looked it up. It actually is a real thing. It's basically they call it center axis relock, and what it is, and it makes very a lot of sense for the character, is you hold the gun really close to your face and at that angle, and it is harder to disarm. It's harder to be disarmed using that technique.
I mean,
So
I
they-
noticed it. I obviously didn't know exactly what it was for, but my brain was like, oh, I know that this is
a real thing.
legit,
Yeah.
and like whatever it is, it must be important.
Also holding it at the angle, not the gangster pose, totally
Yeah,
to the
no,
side, but at
yeah.
the
Yeah.
angle actually is something that was designed or created by an Olympic shooter back in the 60s for rapid fire target shooting. You actually use the recoil of the gun to move the gun across your line of sight to get to the next
Awesome.
target. So I mean, it all just plays into like John Wick's character. It's all about like close hand-to-hand gun jitsu and being able to rapidly just take out your enemies and hit your targets quickly.
He got better in the second one, and I feel on some level it's because
for non-gun fighting.
yeah, he got better. I want to say I here's something thing is he isn't as rusty.
Yeah.
That's actually how I had it in my brain. It's like,
makes sense.
he was rusty in the first one. He is no longer rusty in the second one. He has lots of the killings.
This one picks up right after the first one.
Yeah.
I believe it's about a week that has passed. In the end of the first one, didn't he take a puppy and now he has a full-grown dog?
No, he took a.
No,
Did he
his
take a
puppy
full-grown
died.
dog?
He did take a
His
full-grown
original
dog.
puppy died.
No,
I thought he replaced it with another puppy.
No, he
No,
got.
I mean
it
that
a
was
pit bull.
basically the same
It was
dog.
it was a full-grown dog.
Probably
Okay.
a different actor
That was
dog.
just my bad
but
memory then. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, could you watch John Wick 1 right now? I did. I have. I watched it like couple days before we decided to do this
After
episode.
watching this, I went back and watched a couple of scenes because there were some things because going into this, I thought that I had liked John Wick 1 better.
No,
and that chapter 2 was not as good. And I got to the end of this and I'm like, no, this was so much more amazing. And there were scenes that I kept waiting to come up and they didn't come up. And I realized, oh, those were actually all from John Wick 1.
Yeah.
Like there was an actress, not an actress, but an agent who had tried to like sneak into his room at the Continental and kill him.
Oh,
Yeah.
Adrian Padlecki.
And then
she
later
was
on,
executed by Winston and
those
his
four
group.
people come out of those pillars. I thought that was from this movie for some reason. That was actually from the
here's
first one.
the thing is, John broke the rules.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
And
actually
they
the thing
didn't
I
treat
actually
him
was
the
very-
same way they treated her.
Winston likes him, and Winston makes the calls, apparently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Winston's the king of the castle. Now, here's the thing. We talked about it earlier.
Winston's the black guy?
No, Winston,
No, Winston is
the manager.
Swearingen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ian McShane.
Yeah, he's the manager.
How many movies have had like their final showdown in a hall of mirrors?
I
lot,
actually
right?
I didn't
Conan the Destroyer. Enter the Dragon.
Enter the Dragon. Yeah. I did not love the mirror scene. I just don't like it. I think it for some reason, and when I see that happen in a movie, I don't love it.
Well, it's I guess
I
you're
get
paying
it.
homage to certain
Yes,
and
so-
movies, but
But if I had to say my
it's been
least
done
favorite
enough now
showdown,
that it needs to stop. Because I can think of Enter the Dragon is one. I've never seen it, but I do know that the movie ends that way. And I feel like there's other.
do you remember the skit in Key and Peele when like it's a play on that whole thing, and so there's like a serial killer in the Hall of Mirrors, and the guy actually does put the gun in the face of the real guy. He's like, "Whoa!" He's like, "What's? Oh, is it me?" And then he's like, and so like he puts the gun in his. You gotta watch because like oh no, or am I a mirror? And he shoots him in the leg.
Nope, you missed me.
You missed me.
That's funny. Okay, so we were talking about in the last episode about like the white guys who always play like the Russian guys, right?
Duh.
So Peter Stormare is not Russian.
No, he's not.
So the two actors who play Russian mafia brothers, which is Viggo Tarasov and Abram Tarasov,
Okay.
it's Michael Nyqvist, I don't know how to say his
Okay.
name, and Peter Stormare. They're both from Sweden.
Okay. So
Neither
Swedes
of-
are basically
Neither of them are Russian.
Close
Yeah.
enough. Cold climate, white guys from Europe.
you just replace vodka with aquavite. You're good. I mean, I could not say. I thought I can't remember the sister, the one that he sets off, the assassination that sets it off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When she just cuts her wrist, I'm going out my own way. Like
Yeah.
she knows that she can't do anything,
Yeah.
but
God, like at least try to like seduce him or something.
maybe she was. Maybe this is how she
Too much
thought.
of a professional.
She's a
Yeah.
everyone, and the whole thing always is like everyone knows that John is death.
Yeah. Once
mi-
you see him, it's over.
But mine is like, how much balls do you have to think that you can take this guy out? History has shown us that this man is basically unkillable, and then does the opposite to you, kills everyone.
But conversely, if you can take out the John Wick,
Yeah.
you
are set for
How-
life.
I would love to see a supercut of the time of everybody saying his name. They say the words John Wick at least 1,000 times, right?
Hey, just
John-
watch the movie. That's your supercut.
But
Yeah.
talking
Right,
about
yeah.
like when the contract went out for the $7 million, all like kind of the low level assassins, like that big
the
sumo wrestler
Yeah.
dude and the violin girl. I liked how they cut that scene where like you never saw one whole fight, you just saw like pieces of it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, oh, here's what happened on his way to the train station. He had to take out 3 assassins.
John was having a very bad day.
Yeah, rough day.
This is
He's
very-
gonna have an even harder day now.
So 3 is going to be like that for 2 hours.
because he has no sources anymore. He can't
No.
go to the sommelier.
Well,
No,
we
he's
know
completely
for
isolated.
a fact
He's got
some stores.
Yeah, he's got hidden stashes
Yeah.
all over the place.
He's
He
got
can
his
break
dog.
that concrete back out, you know.
I know, right? That was because I've been doing a whole bunch of concrete.
Yeah.
Man, he just finished that.
Yeah. Actually, I was thinking about because you'd been doing concrete, and I was just thinking about like what I remember from I haven't poured concrete in a long time, but he used to help my dad. And I was just thinking like, he doesn't have enough water. It's too thick. When he first was kind of like sliding it on, it was too thick.
he had honestly, I was looking at
It was a good mix.
it's got a good mix. It's got a good mix. Yeah. And he actually was just pouring cement. He wasn't pouring the full concrete mixture because he already had the rocks in there to bind together.
Yeah.
Because concrete is the cement and the rocks mixed together.
Yeah.
We all
know that, of course.
Yeah. I finished my new tortoise pen. They're going to wake up here in a couple weeks, and I built them a new, larger one. And
they're going to wake up from like Jason Bourne, like, where am I? What is this?
They're going to make up better people.
One of them has a bank account surgically implanted in his hip, a bank account number on a laser pointer.
Oh my gosh, it's so good, man. Was that? That's right. Wait, well, that was in Supremacy, right?
No, it's an Identity. The fishing
That's
boat
right.
pulls him up,
okay.
and the doctor takes out the bullets and pulls out this
That's
thing.
right. I'm like, I'm telling you, they do run together. I actually, after we're done, I'll probably watch Bourne Ultimatum.
I want to, but I almost want to leave some time so I can separate them in my mind because my memory
for
of
the
them back in the
Bournes,
day.
they are one movie. Except for Legacy. Legacy can eat a big old pile of crap.
It wasn't that
no
bad.
Was the worst.
I didn't mind it. I thought
It was all done like, well, you're all chemically altered now because of a virus. You and if you don't take the chems, you're gonna be stupid. Anyway, it was the.
I think they articulated it a little bit better than that.
No. Take pill, get dumb.
I've seen worse, and I
That was
like
Julia Stiles' part, right?
I like Jeremy Renner, and I've seen far worse.
I do like Jeremy Renner.
You guys remember when I saw it? We had not.
Yeah, it was your date,
It was our
first date out for a long time, and you wasted on that.
And
I
wasted
get
on
it.
this garbage movie, and it is hands down not worthy of being in the Bourne movies.
You guys could have gone out to see Samurai Cop.
Oh man, you're right. Our marriage would have ended.
I really dug the music in this movie too. Like when they were doing like that concert in Rome or whatever. It was cool. I liked it.
It's actually it's such a trope. You go anywhere in Europe, if there is any party, no matter if the Pope is there, it's going to have some weird techno vibe going on.
Like a techno
There's a rave going on.
But it was more than that. There was like electronic elements, but there was like a dude on a guitar playing some sick leads.
That was okay.
There was like a Bjork type singer.
No,
like,
I know, but obviously, but it's like, it's that Euro.
Yeah.
I did love
their music's different than ours.
Yeah.
Like they have a style.
the manager of the Roman Continental. He's from Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, right?
Who was it?
Or was he? No, he was Django. He was original Django.
Okay.
In the movie Django Unchained, remember he's in the bar and he says like, "My name's Django," and he says, "Ah, but the D is silent." He was original Django. The guy
I can't remember actors with movies that I watched yesterday.
It was Clancy Brown.
It's Clancy Brown.
It's all Clancy Brown.
No, but he asks him. He says, "Let me ask you first. Are you here for the Pope?" And John says, "No." Okay, well then, welcome to the Continental. Like, as long as you're not killing the Pope, we're good.
Yeah, I remember that scene, but I don't remember.
He said it in Italian.
Yeah, I don't remember the actor.
Oh, John Wick speaks every language,
Yeah,
including sign language, including ASL. Yeah, it's just a good movie, man. And Cassian almost gets him a couple times. Almost. And the cool thing about it is that he kept doing Wick-like moves on Wick, where like Wick always shuffles the weight from another person. You guys looking up the actor?
I am looking it up to see if Clancy Brown is in.
Clancy Brown.
he's not.
He's not. God dang you guys.
I did just watch Clancy Brown in something, but he was older. What was I watching? I mean, he's in Lost. He probably got lost on the brain.
I do have Lost in the brain.
Yeah, he's in Lost.
I'm not to that part in Lost yet. We're just like episode 5 or 6.
Oh, so it's still good.
Like all the
Yeah,
returning
it is.
characters, like John Leguizamo's Aurelio is awesome.
Yeah.
Got to see Lance Reddick again, and he takes care of the dog for a little while. He goes above and beyond. He likes John Wick too.
Yeah, everybody. I like
He's
John
the
Wick
cop?
too. No, he's the
He's the concierge or
Concierge,
whatever.
yeah,
He's
of
like
the-
The black guy.
runs the hotel,
concierge,
yeah.
Broyles
I
from
like
Fringe.
him.
I could
Broyles.
totally watch some Fringe right now.
I need to go through Fringe again too.
Fringe is
You guys
so-
won't tell me the ending. What's the ending?
No, I'm not going to tell you. No,
Because you guys are assholes.
no, because I don't want to.
Just spoil it for me.
No, it's worth it. It's worth.
I won't
watching.
watch it, so you just might as well tell me the end.
Watch Fringe. No, then I'm going to let you be old and bitter and
To read the
full of
wiki at
regret.
least.
Chris and I's friendship will end, and I'll just hate him for the rest of my life. It's like that son of a bitch never told me the end of Fringe.
I'll go to your funeral and like your dad and everything and be like
Whisper to my dead body.
I'll never tell you how frigid it is.
Right. And honestly, I'm getting healthier and healthier every day. There's a good chance I'll outlive you at some point. Keep getting healthier.
That's hilarious.
Oh man.
All right.
It's too good.
Yeah.
The problem with these movies is they're so good.
We can't say a bad word about them.
No, John, you are right though. It is weird. Like, okay, is everybody an assassin? Everybody?
That's the worst thing I can
The world is
a really cool scene where they freeze everybody and they all just stop and watch. Like, that's my biggest complaint.
I just want to tell you guys,
is that it's a little unrealistic.
I'm an assassin.
How are you?
Yeah. I kill people for money. Does 7 million seem low to kill John Wick?
It does.
That was my first thing. I want to take out an order 7 million. Like, oh man, it was 2 million. It was like 10 million from the Russian guy.
In Bourne?
It just seemed low. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, 7 million is a lot.
You were talking.
I think for an average contract, it's probably like, $250,000.
You're probably not paying taxes on it either.
No, they have their own economy. That's why they have the gold coins and stuff. Yeah.
Man, he just does give those coins out. Like, what's the exchange rate? He gives these coins. What can you spend the coin on?
That was kind of interesting. Like, he would just like give a coin for like a hotel room. He'd give a coin to like have a sandwich. You know,
somebody posted something on Imager along that effect. Like, I need you to take care of, remove these bodies and clean this place. Okay, that'll be 1 gold coin. I also want a beer. Also one gold coin.
Yeah, everything's a coin. Everything is a coin. And it's just like, do they keep a tab? I mean, obviously they do. They're not just like, I don't know. Yeah. 1 gold coin equals infinity amounts of staying. Yeah. He really should have waited. He should have waited. I was actually disappointed in him.
To kill the guy?
I think for killing Antonio Scarpacci.
It's very out of character, but I think they needed that as the catalyst for whatever's happening next. Like, I just
wanted to finish it.
Yeah. I don't usually anticipate movies very, very much. Like, when the trailers come out, I'm not the first one to down them. I don't really care. I
don't watch trailers anymore.
I wait until
I don't watch trailers anymore.
But like, I really want to see where they go with John Wick 3, Chapter 3.
I can't wait.
You said that was this year?
Yeah, May.
Nice. Oh, that's right around the corner.
I know. I'm so excited.
We should go to the theater and see it.
You were talking about that you were a little bummed that they revealed too much about the Continental.
Yeah. Well,
just now,
not just Continental, like the whole, the underworld.
Now we have the whole thing at the High Council. What's the High Council?
Bowery King. I just remembered it.
You said it earlier.
I said Bowery Master.
I don't care. It's Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah.
They don't have names.
Yeah.
I barely call John Wick, even though they say it 1,000 times. Still Keanu.
Sorry, I cut you off. You're talking about the council at the table.
I'm really excited to talk about the high council.
The high table.
Like, what does that look like?
Yeah.
Because like we're talking about this whole cool like underground society that like is ran by it's like they police themselves.
Yeah, I assume like, okay, so if you get a seat at the table is like you get control over an entire like major city. So New York is going to be like a London
almost a
person.
Continent or half of a continent.
It's going to be like a Hong Kong one. There's going to be a Tokyo one. Like you basically get like these huge regions of control over crime.
I wonder, okay, now that I'm thinking about it, it actually has a huge similarity. Did you guys ever read Wanted? They made a dumb movie about it, which was based with, Angelina Jolie and
with the spin bullets.
Yeah, the movie has nothing to do with the comic. No. But did you guys read it?
No.
Oh, it's incredible. Basically, the whole thing is that there is an underground supervillain society that shapes the way that the world works.
Yeah.
And there is a high council, and each one of them has a continent.
So real life.
So real life, yeah.
Basically.
And so like our character is in charge of North America. Then like some like fascist is in charge of Europe. Like, but they're all bad guys. And so the whole thing is that like
real life.
Superheroes are real. And so, but like when the villains finally overcame all the superheroes, Christopher Reeves really was Superman. But like they crippled him and made him think that he was an actor.
Oh, yeah.
And the same thing with Batman and Robin. They're like, oh yeah, you were an actor. Like you were the scariest man ever. Now you play a joke of yourself. Like it's all like what villains would really do.
Yeah.
And the main villain is basically like if Mr. Rogers was evil. Like if
real life.
Anyway, but I just wonder, it's going to be like that. So like they must have really there's a lot of parallels between Wanted and John Wick now that I really think about it. And the main character is called the Killer. His entire superpowers, he knows how to kill people. Yeah. Which is what John Wick knows how to do too. Yeah. Dang it, they stole Wanted. Anyway, okay.
I'm a little worried that John Wick 3 can't hold up.
You're lying. You're lying to yourself. You know it's going to be good.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be good.
I hope. Yeah.
Halle Berry's in it.
Is she?
Yeah. She's like she's the second main character. Yeah, neat. I mean, they're missing out on it not being Carrie-Anne Moss. They're just throwing that away. It could work. You guys want done?
Yeah, I think we've said everything. It's good.
It's now time for our newest segment and the quickest that we've ever done. Subjectively gooder.
This one.
Where we decided and as predicted in our last episode, this one.
Yeah. Let's play it a little bit different. Do you think that these three movies were better than Judge, Jury, and Executioner 3 movies?
No. Jack Reacher 1 and Bourne Identity are definitely to me better than the other ones, and John Wick 2 is on par with John Wick 1.
I definitely think John Wick 2 is better than John Wick 1. I think Jack Reacher 2 is worse than Jack Reacher 1, and Bourne Supremacy is better than Bourne Identity. So I think I'm going to say this is subjectively better than our first episode.
Interesting. You are not wrong.
I'm on the same page with Corey.
Yeah, I think the first Triple J 1 is better to me, but my gosh, it's not that much.
Yeah.
These movies are good.
Yeah.
But these are definitely better than It's Garbage.
Yeah.
Those movies.
Sure,
oh
definitely.
my gosh.
It's good.
So we don't declare each other the winner here at MGT. That's for you, the Twitter poll, and the High Council to decide. But we do think someone should win and lose, and that's why we have gooder, badder, fugly. Who wins?
The letter J.
Yeah.
The episode brought to you by the letter J.
The letter J.
And the number 3.
That's so good. I like that. Old school. Dig it. But you done?
I'm going to say Landy. I mean, setting aside the obvious like superheroes, Landy does her job well and like solves, the mystery she's trying to solve. She does what she sets out to do and like is respected in her field.
Okay. I like that. Mine's Jack Reacher. Jack Reacher wins this one. He gets out of the boredom of
dodges that child support bullet.
No, I mean that too. But he maintains the status quo and also does a lot of good, which is basically what he is. He's basically like this like Hulk that wanders around doing good. He's like a one-man A-team, basically. I mean, he is. That's basically what he is. So he lives his life and does some good. Jack Reacher comes out on top.
He's Kane. He's from Kung Fu.
My only problem with Jack Reacher is he's a little like one note. Like he's not a faceted character. Like
so you're saying John Wick's not one?
John Wick's awesome, but he still makes mistakes. He still killed somebody in the Continental. You know what I mean? Like that makes him a little bit more of like a kind of a gritty.
Jack Reacher obviously doesn't always wear protection.
He's always just like, oh, I'm the most badass person in this room. You know what I mean? Whereas we've seen some matches for John Wick. Cassian's close.
I mean, John Wick they call him Death himself. How many times can they say about how awesome he is?
Yeah, but like he's lost a lot too. Like his house got burned down, his wife died of cancer, his first dog got killed, his car got smashed.
I didn't say that John Wick was the winner. I said Jack Reacher is the winner.
No, I know.
Yeah. You got a loser?
The Mockingjay. Now, follow me where I'm going with this.
Okay.
Each of these movies had somebody who basically was like the antithesis, but they kind of were like very similar. They like mocked them. So it was the mocking Jack, the mocking John, and the mocking Jason Bourne. And they all died in the end because they went up against the J. So the mocking J.
I could just see Corey's face. I got it! This is going to go over so well. And you just sit there typing. Yes. Oh, yes. This is going to land so well.
Tickle them so well. Yeah.
Clever.
Yeah, that's really good. You're right. The Mockingjay did. That was. I just picture your face. Just your face writing it was just.
I love your reaction because it's actually landing even harder than I thought it would.
It's just I know your face when you thought of it. Oh yeah, nailed it. You did it again, Sasso. You did it again, you son of a bitch.
Or furrowed brow. I'm gonna get those fuckers.
Corey, that's good, man. That's good stuff. Yeah. You got a loser, Don?
My loser's Danny Zorn.
Oh.
Like, hey, I did my job super well. I just cracked the case. I think I like figured it out here.
Yeah, poor Zorn. Yeah, mine is like all the CIA guys. Like some of them are a little sloppy. Yeah. Like I guess you can't all be Treadstone.
Yeah.
And then you can also then be Blackbriar. Foreshadowing. My loser, John Wick. John Wick does not come out ahead on this one. He's got a massive price on his head.
Got his work cut out for him.
He's definitely like, unless it's like John Wick like gets off on the killing, there's gonna be a lot of dead bodies. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Oh man, I can't. If I did it for reals, I couldn't sing for the rest of it.
Too bad.
I sang a bunch. I sang very aggressive. I can get pretty hard, but I never mastered the screaming.
The screamo.
I don't know how to do it and then be able to sing afterwards.
Oh,
and there are people who can do it and still like sound really good. I've seen it live.
It's incredible.
How did you belt out that scream and then come out with a nice note afterwards? My voice would be shot afterwards.
They have
There's a technique that I just don't know how to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like opera. I know it's dumb to compare, but like it is. It's opera. It's complete control of your voice.
Yeah.
John Wick lost. That's my he's not he no longer has the safety of the Continental.
Yeah.
Huge, and then he's got that. And everyone around him that he loves is dead. And he owns the Bowery King $7 million still.
Do you think he's got to pay him that money?
Or just not kill him.
No, I mean the trade was that whatever that bad guy's name was wouldn't run New York and undo the Bowery King's network of bums. Yeah. So that was payment enough.
I feel when I was watching the scene because I found it odd. It's just a weird. It was just an odd scene. It felt it didn't feel super in place with the movie, but it was to me like $7 million for 7 bullets.
Yeah,
it felt like there's you owe me some money.
Yeah,
I felt like there was going to be money exchanged for goods and services.
I did pay close attention and I laughed out loud. Like I was like, okay, I'm gonna count the shots, and it was like pop, 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 pop. They were gone like instantly.
And he looked at him like that. Okay, the scene when John Wick was slowly collecting guns because he never does that in any of the other movies.
Well, that's what it was. That got him his entrance, the 7 bullets, but he had to start collecting guns off of everybody else to continue. Because he goes through so many rounds.
He did that cool thing where like he flipped it up, checked it.
That was just a little eye candy. It didn't seem practical because he'd already chambered it.
I ate it.
He put the clip in, he chambered it, and then he did the little whole like one hand check it again, and then it's like you already chambered it, guy. You're just doing it for the cameras. He's trying to look cool.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was cool.
You guys have any fuglies?
The pencil.
Yeah,
it was brutal.
Went in the ear, went in the skull. It came out real nasty looking.
Stabbing the aorta scenes kind of got me because like that guy Cassian has to walk out. Either Cassian's still alive.
It's still a ticking time bomb though.
I'm assuming he's going to be in the next movie.
He's not going to bleed out instantly, but I think they wanted to bring him back.
Yeah.
You're not going to bleed out instantly, but you will eventually die from that thing staying in there. You got to get to a hospital now.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't think they can go to hospitals, but some sort of like
got to get to the
Continental version of a hospital. Yeah.
Well, there's always a doctor like
on staff.
Yeah.
They don't board dogs. Strange.
But I will take care of him. Broyles, he's a sweet, awesome dude.
That tells you who John Wick was. Like he was willing to take that on the responsibility himself because he had so much respect for John Wick.
I know.
Yeah.
He was a good boy. What would you name the dog?
I think
what would you name the dog?
John Wick will work his way back into the Continental. I think that's how he's going to get weapons and gear. Is that some antagonist that could potentially unseat the Continental?
Well, that power. Scarpacci was like saying, like, I demand him. You kind of got that. He's like, oh, I want his membership revoked.
Yeah.
Like, not, well, you can't tell me to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, McShane.
Yeah, there might be tension there. But the high table or the high council is going to go against like some of the institutions in the network, like the Continental and whatnot. And so there's going to be a war between different sides, and they're gonna need John Wick to solve the problem.
Did you notice that the dude in the Rome Continental, the Roman Continental had the Colombian beard, the Colombian cut for like obvious, like at some point.
The Colombian necktie.
He had his throat slit and survived it.
I didn't catch that.
Watch it again.
I will
pull his tongue through, and they say, "Okay, like you're gonna bleed out unless you get to a hospital." His tongue's holding the blood in. It was like a small like necktie. Colombian bow tie, maybe?
It's just so cool. It's a bolo. Yeah. It's a bolo tie.
Colombian bolo.
Oh my gosh, this movie was so freaking
his
good.
tongue and split it.
I could talk about, we could just do an episode called just John Wick every day.
We're clearly not done. We're still talking
Every day,
We are
dude. No.
out of the John Wick section.
What it
We're
is
still
I
talking about
remember. Then I remember something cool. That was cool.
Yeah.
I remember that. It was so cool.
Yeah, whatever the runtime is on the movie, like that's how long.
2 hours and 1 minute.
2 hours and 1 minute is how long we could talk about John Wick.
I'm sure none of the local theaters will mind if we live cast like,
right?
when
So
it comes
good.
out.
Sadly, that is going to do it for us. We could talk about more John Wick. That's going to do it for us in the MGT Recording Bunker. We really appreciate you rating, reviewing, and subscribing to the podcast on any podcast that you listen to. If you think you know anyone who'd like our show, tell them about us. Please follow us on Twitter at MGT Podcast or on Instagram and Facebook at More Gooder Than. Email us at moregooderthan@gmail.com. Call the hotline 661-489-7323 and visit our website mgtpodcast.com, where you can support us via Patreon, like our great and powerful sponsors, Nan and David, and the rest of the Sacred Grove.
It was anticlimactic. Thought you were going to say "nan" real loud.
That's like the ending of John Wick 2. Leaves you wanting more.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can also visit our actual sponsor page on the website and purchase an item from Range Outdoors. Go be free. While you're there, you can buy a nice
Suspiciously used pencil.
with our logo on it from our merch page. MG logo designed by Mary Madewell. Home Tree logo designed by Dan Nicholson. And of course, we're proud members of the Podfix Network. Follow us at Podfix on Twitter and the website podfixnetwork.com, and check out the Big D on the Crit Storm podcast with friends of the show. So, whatever they say, Russian peace. I should have looked it up.
Yeah.
Bye from me, Chris and Corey.
Later.
See ya.
And
This was a podcast from the Podfix Network.
you can check out more shows like it at podfixnetwork.com.